Friday, whenever we were, or Thursday, I'm sorry, whenever we were kind of like live streaming the game or whatever. We saw you beat Cameron. We were all really excited, right? Obviously, you guys lost in the championship the other day. Man, tell me a little bit about what that experience was like. Tell me a little bit about just overall your experience so far.
Yeah, I mean it was a fun weekend, that's for sure. I mean it was something that this team hadn't experienced before, uh, and I was drawing a lot of parallels myself because the program I just came from, that was something we had just done. We had just lost 4-3 in the conference championship, and that was the farthest our program had ever been before, and it was something that was new, for the players, and there's really nothing that can compare to like the tournament atmosphere, because it's basically like the hardest thing you're going to do all year, back to back to back. You can't really plan too much for your opponent coming ahead because you've only got about 3 or 4 hours to do that after you finish your last one and start recovering. So we definitely took it one step at a time because we had to beat Tyler again 4 days removed from beating them, to close out the regular season to even get there. And so that felt good to get on and get off relatively quickly. I mean, we dealt with like a 2-hour rain delay in that one, but we handled that really well to get on and off. And then the next day with Cameron, we had lost to them 4-3 at their place earlier in the year. We knew that it was going to be very tough. There were a couple different matchups, but a lot of it was the same, and then we went out there and to get the doubles point, that was huge. That had been something that we'd been, was kind of a theme for us all year, is our matches were going the way that the doubles point went, and to get the doubles point was huge there. We did repeat some of the same wins that we got in the regular season, but that was a battle. I mean, that was every bit of 5 hours on the court. It was pretty hot there. And that took a lot out of us. Now St. Mary's, who we ended up playing in the next round, they actually had to come back that morning to finish their match from the day before, but they were able to get on and off with their match, their semifinal match, quicker than we were. I think we spent more time on the court just in our match with Cameron than they did with both matches combined. So we were pretty beat up, that night, after that win against Cameron. But the girls really came together. I mean, we had great energy that night, at dinner the night before and breakfast the morning of, and we were feeling good. And we went out and got the doubles point against St. Mary's, which was back and forth, and that was super tough. And so, everyone kind of had that feeling like this is what we were looking for, because every time we've won the doubles point this year, we've won. And again, we had some similar matchups to the regular season match against St. Mary's, but some that were different. And there was one point where we had won the doubles point. Ramitha played incredible at line 5 to get off so quickly. So we were up 2-0. We ended up losing on line 2, which I knew was going to be a super tough one for us because it was tough in the regular season too. But then at one point, Dianella on number 1 had come back and won her, or she was very close to finishing her second set comeback to push it to 3. We had double match point on court 3, and we had double match point on court 4 within about 5 minutes of each other. Now on lines 3 and 4, we were battling. We were fighting off cramps and just really kind of struggling physically in matches where their opponents were much fresher than us. And also, it was different matchups from the time we played them earlier. But, St. Mary's is a team who won the tournament last year. They have a lot of experience, within their program, not just, having upperclassmen, which we don't have a lot of, but, tournament play and holding your nerve when it comes down to like the tough moments. And they did a slightly better job of it than we did on a couple of courts, and that's really all it came down to, was a couple of moments where they just executed slightly better than we did. So that was a tough loss, for the team for sure, and that's something we talked about afterwards. How crushed we all were was because it meant so much to everyone, to be able to do something that this program had never done before, and to come so close and to know it was right there. But that's the nice thing, is that like for most teams, after the conference tournament is over, if you don't win it, your season's done. But we don't believe ours is, and hopefully tonight we'll be finding out, that we're in an NCAA regional. I don't know if we'll host. I think we made a decent case for it by beating the 1 seeds at a neutral site, but we'll see.
You mentioned too, like throughout the season, it seemed like you've been very proud of your group. You mentioned this is like a really historic year for you guys. But I want to ask, so do you kind of feel like your program is still like a year away? Like I know you say you don't have many upperclassmen, but do you still feel like this year you did really well, but next year is when you think you can really start to hit it on all cylinders?
We will be better next year. We're gonna return, everyone, pretty much everyone, I think, and we may have an addition as well. But also the thing will be is everything that we know how to do now, we will know it from the very beginning. I didn't get here until like the 4th or 5th day of class, and we had a bunch of tournaments right away where we just kind of like figuring things out, and so there was a ton of learning that went on. Me being in a new environment, learning these new players, and then them getting used to a lot of the stuff that I do, that I talk about, that I prioritize, that was kind of new for them. And so the good thing is that going forward, even next week, right, we will know what it's like to be in a tournament atmosphere. We will know what it's like to be able to prioritize the things that are the most important to us, especially as we get late in the season. So yeah, I think we'll be even better next year.
You talk about a year of first, and seeing all of this success. Do you think that gives the girls momentum going into tonight and here in the regional field, and then into that tournament play?
I think so. I sure hope so. That's one thing that they have constantly been learning throughout the season, which is something that I'm very proud of. Is how much because sometimes when a new coach comes in, it takes a while, and all I ask them from the beginning is like just try to roll with it, just try to trust me at first, and then if things don't work out exactly the way we want all the time, then we'll kind of sort things out. But I think it's such an open group and such a competitive group that getting this taste of being in the tournament and having some wins and continuing on to the next day and coming so close. Some of these things are they hadn't experienced it before, and I don't even know if they had a vision, of what it would be like to do it. And now that they have done it, and we've had that success, and it's not going to be, it's going to be something exciting for us for sure, but it's not going to be new. And for them to have that experience, and because that's one thing about this team, they're incredibly smart. They're smart as athletes, they're smart as students, and so they pick things up when they see that something's working, and it makes things better not only for them but for the whole team. They're smart enough to know we can keep doing this, and things will continue to improve. Just so much credit to them, because I'm not always the easiest person to play for. I think I may be I think people I think players like being on my team, but it's not always easy for sure. And this team deserves so much credit because they have answered all the challenges, and they've really turned into such a strong team as we've gone farther into the season. So I'm really happy about that.
And then last week you said this team can go and win 6-0 for 4 or 5 games straight. Do you think when they take care of doubles points earlier, do you think that's going to be the same strategy going into the tournament play, or are y'all going to switch it up since there's going to be new teams y'all haven't seen before?
Yeah, doubles is something that starts college tennis off with so much energy and enthusiasm, and that's something that we've gotten better at, and our teams have kind of embraced their own identity of it as a doubles team because they all kind of play in a different way, and so I think their confidence in themselves and the comfortability they have, kind of playing the way that they play in doubles. I think hopefully that's something that is just ingrained in us now. We're always going to be excited about playing doubles and going out there and making that just such an identity for us, is to be a super tough doubles team and then trying to carry that momentum on to the rest of the match. But we'll see who we play here in regionals. It's going to be someone that we've already seen and probably already seen pretty recently. So that the playbook there is going to be completely the same, and then we got to take it one step at a time, because everyone on the team now knows what could be in the future, but we also know that we just got to take it one step at a time and take care of ourselves, and control the things that we can control, And for us, that starts off with recovery, a couple good days of practice, and then getting fired out to start the doubles with a ton of energy.